One remaining detail that I want to add at the moment is an exterior wall junction. Now we're going to do this at the moment that it's just meaning the tiles are in the other direction. Let's just copy that, just explain it. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining it. Move, drag a copy. Now we're flipping this relationship. So we need this tile to rotate around. Let's do this the other way. Get rid of that for now. Move mirror. This is effectively the corner we're trying to create. So how do we do this in terms of a wall junction? Let's just think this through practically. So we have a timber frame that meets with another timber frame. That's fine. And we can have, just like before, the villa board meet with the villa board, but we don't want it to overlap, so we will have this type of a connection. It may or may not be a waterproofed edge. I would suggest it's probably not a waterproofed edge, but depends on the situation. So let's remove these. We'll move the mortar into place, and we'll move the stone into place. And we'll overlap these like this. So mostly that's fine. What's the problem? If this was stone, this would have a really normal, natural stone edge. Now, hopefully it would be polished and it would be consistent and it would look great. Because why? It's natural stone. But what would that look like if this wasn't stone, if it was porcelain? This would look like a pre-finished edge that might meant to be look like stone or timber or metal or concrete, but the side would look white, it would look ugly. So the invention of external tile trims. Now, of course, we can use external tile trims on stone, but it's probably more likely to be used when we're talking about porcelain. Of course, I would normally have a mortar joint here if it was stone anyway. How would this work? How does this work? This allows us to, let's just go back and say that there's a 3mm grout joint, and we're going to attach this to here. And this would allow us to create a nice transition. I need to make this a little bit bigger. This way. There we go. So it results in that sort of a finish. So we have whatever this is, stainless steel, it could be brass, it could be PVC. It tends to be something that's a bit cheaper. Of course, I'd always recommend something that's a little bit nicer, a little bit more quality. But this way we don't see the edge of the stone, so it's a rounded edge, or a, what would another example of this be? square edge. Now usually it's hollow, not solid like this, but let's just leave it like that for now. So we could have a square edge if we wanted to see a square edge, and have a sharp edge. Either of these would work. If we didn't want to see the edge of the tile. So these come as standardized elements, so whatever you're using, something like that might be the way that you finish this off. And of course, to finish off my detail, I just want to extend these, stretch as far as they need to stretch. And then we'll cover that end with a white. Right. The only one left to talk about is a niche. That's the typical bathroom detail that we'll see a lot of. So how do we create a niche? Of course, it's just using a combination of a few of these different things. Basically, the bottom of the niche, or the sill of the niche, is a floor. The top of a niche might be something like this, the head, and the internal corners will be something like this, and the outside reveal will be something like that. So it's just a combination of all these. We'll have a look at what that looks like. Of course, the only way to do that is actually creating multiples, and effectively the niche is a window. So in the next video, we'll have a look at how to create a niche.